walk you through the basics of setting up your loom for a new project. So you can follow along and we'll just go through step by step from the gathering your materials to being ready to warp. Set my tea aside. I think tea is an important part of weaving. I love my tea. Okay, so first of all, the first thing I'm going to do when I'm starting a new project is I'm going to gather my materials. So I've got my cotton here, I've got scissors, I've got a threading hook, I've got a carpenter's tape measure, I've got a flexible tape measure, I have my reed, this is called a cone holder. It holds my cones. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. And I have my warping pegs and I have my clamps. Oh, and I also have elastic bands. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I have the right reed. So on my Ashford reed, it's going to tell me what reed it is right here in the middle. And it also has a dot to tell me where the center of my reed is. And I'll tell you why that's important in a little bit. I'm going to put the reed in the loom so that the Ashford is facing me when I'm weaving. Now, if you have a shacked loom, you can do the same thing. You can mark your center. It doesn't say on there what it is. The size of your reed is actually written on the plastic of your reed. I find that very difficult to see, so I will often write it on the end of my reed so that when I'm looking for the right size, I can easily see. So I'm going to put this in my loom. I'm going to put it into the front Heddle block. So if you happen to have a new loom and it's got a place for two reeds, we'll put it in the one that's closest to the front of the loom. I've got these two elastic bands. They are super helpful in warping. You'll see that our back warping stick is a little floppy here. If I use elastic bands, then I can make sure that that warping stick doesn't flop around. The reason I don't want it to flop around is that when I start warping, I just have a few threads on here, and you can see that this is just flopping around. And as I work across the loom, this will get pulled further and further out. And so I don't have a perfectly straight warp all the way across. The elastic bands are extra. You don't need to use them. I use them all the time. I think they're super helpful. So they go from the back warping stick and they're connected to the reed. So they just loop over the back warping stick and the reed. The reason we put the Ashford facing us is because the Ashford holes are slightly concave, and that makes it easier for your threading hook to go into the hole. You don't have to put it straight in. It can go in at a variety of different angles because of the shape of the hole. On your shacked loom, it won't make a difference at all. Their holes are perfectly square, and it doesn't matter which way you put the reed. If you put your Ashford reed in backwards so that the Ashford is facing the back of the loom, you can still go ahead. You don't need to worry about it. Your weaving is going to be just fine. So that's setting up the reed. Next, let's talk about my warping pegs. So I have multiple pegs on here. I have a 32-inch loom. This is about 32 inches long, but it doesn't need to be. It would be fine if I just had one that was 12 or 18 inches as well. It would work just fine. And then I have these spring clamps that work really well to hold it. So the reason I like multiple pegs is if you are using a single peg, and you absolutely can. I used a single peg for quite a long time before I thought of using multiple pegs. If you use a single peg and you have a wider warp, your warp is going to come in on an angle. And that means that your outer warp ends are going to be longer than your center warp ends. It also means that when you're winding, it's a little bit harder to get a good even tension, but absolutely doable, particularly if you're using the crank and yank method to wind your warp. So I like this. My son made this. It was one of his first carpentry projects. I love it. You can use coat hooks. You can use those over-the-door back, the things that fit over the back of a door that have hooks on it. You can use that. if you have multiple looms and multiple pegs, you can line them all up as well. But I have this, so I'm just going to put it on here, and I'm going to use my squeeze clamps to hold it firmly in place. Now the next thing, before I can actually start warping, is I need to measure the length of my warp. Your pattern will tell you how long your warp should be. For a tea towel, I'm usually looking at about 94 inches, but that can vary depending on the pattern that you have or how many towels you're wanting to weave. To measure my warp, I use a carpenter's measuring tape, and I will measure from the center of my pegs to about the center of my loom, and I'll measure to the back warping stick. So my back warping stick is fully extended. Those elastic bands are holding it in place. So when I measure, I can measure from those pegs to the back warping stick. Now, I've only got 33 inches here. If I tried to extend it so that we could see the full 94 inches, we couldn't fit that on the camera. So we're just gonna stick with our 33 inches here and it'll be fine. I can move my loom back and forth. It's on a stand. If you happen to be using a table, you might be able to move your pegs or your loom to get the length of warp that you want. If you are used to using a table to warp and you feel like you're limited to the length of your table for your warp, your loom and your pegs don't actually have to be attached to the same table. So if you can have your loom on a table and your pegs at the counter, then you might be able to move your table back and forth to get the warp that you want. Or if you have a chair that happens to have like a high back chair with ears on the back, you can use those ears as your warping peg too, so that you can move the chair back and forth from your loom to get the length that you want. So there's a variety of different creative ways that you can have the length of warp that you would like. So we have our reed in, we have our back warping stick fully extended, we've attached our pegs, we've measured the length of our warp. Now we have one more thing that we need to do. I mentioned earlier, a 32-inch loom. Now I don't very often use that full 32 inches, but I love having it in case I want to. Usually I'm looking at 20 to 24 inches on this particular loom. And I want my weaving to be centered in my reed. So I don't want to start warping here and have it end here so that this side's completely empty. Having it centered is going to make it easier to keep an even tension, and it's going to make it easier to keep the beat even as I'm weaving. So what I want to do is I want to measure from the center halfway. So if my project is 20 inches, I want to measure from the center of my loom out 10 inches, and that's where I'll start warping. And so then I know that when I'm done, I should be about 10 inches on the other side of the center. Now I mentioned earlier on your Ashford loom, you have a dot that marks that center. I add dots to my shaft reeds just to make it easier so I don't have to keep measuring it. If your project doesn't tell you how wide it is in the loom, you can take your number of ends and divide it by your reed size. So if we have 200 ends and we're using a 10 dent reed, if we take that 200, we divide it by 10, we end up with 10, I believe. My math is bad. I know that if I have 200 ends, it's going to be 20 inches. And so I'm going to take that 20, divide it by 2. Yeah, I got that math totally wrong. So if you have 200 ends, you're using a 10 dent reed, you know that you've got 10 ends per inch. So if you've got 200 ends, you're going to have 20 inches in your reed. And so then you can take that 20 inches, divide it by 2, and then do your measuring. Sorry for the earlier confusion. Okay, so I've now measured out. I've tied a scrap piece of yarn or I've stuck my threading hook in here. I now know exactly where to start threading. So the next thing is I need to actually start my threading. So let's look at this. This is a cone holder, and again, this is just one my son made. He got the plans off of the internet. I'm not quite sure where, but if you look up spool holder or cone holder, you will find plans for this online. Ashford carries them. I'm sure Schacht has one. Leclerc will have one, so you can order one already made as well. So my yarns are on these pegs here, and I'll pull the yarn and I'll put it through the eyes up here. And putting it through those eyes guides the yarn up from the floor, and it stops the cones from getting tangled amongst each other as well when you're winding multiple colors. And I'm going to put this in front, on the floor in front of my loom. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll zoom out and you can see where it is. And then the final thing is I need a threading hook. This is a brass threading hook. I love my brass threading hook. It is my absolute favorite hook. But your plastic one that came with Ashford or your wooden and metal one that came with Schacht, they will work. If you're looking for something different, you want to treat yourself, I do love the brass ones. I got mine on Etsy. I think the Woolery carries them. You can look for them on Etsy, and a lot of yarn, or a lot of weaving supply shops will carry these. And now I'm ready to go. I've measured my warp, I've got my threads, I've extended my back warping stick, my reed is in with the Ashford facing me, I've got my pegs set up, and I'm all ready to go.